This last week, I saw a movie called Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
I saw it as well.
Good. What did you think of it, Marcia?
I was very unenthusiastic about it.
Surprise!
No, I did not like it at all.
Surprise!
There are a few jokes. The men are all kind of less than super attractive. The women, of course, are beautiful. And our hero, Jason Segel, who seems overwrought in his crying and crying and crying and crying about the breakup, he's still able within 2 weeks to find 5 more beautiful girls who are willing to go to bed with him.
I think Marcia is so totally off base, even for Marcia, that she's really totally in the soup on this one. I realize you like movies of women probably that are cross between Hillary Clinton and Mother Teresa is the character you want to see a comedy about.
That really is an unfair sentence.
Okay, it is, so I retract it.
I really resent that sentence.
Okay, I retract it.
It's too late. This is the year when I hit you with something, right?
Good, okay. It's a comedy about a guy who gets dumped, and then what happens to him, he runs into his girl again, all sorts of misadventures, and then ends up either with her or without her in a not unhappy ending. This thing is a set up as commedia dell'arte. In a sense, comedy always, throughout history, has had each period has a set of characters, like the cuckold, the old guy, the husband.
Okay.
This is, I consider, the contemporary set of characters it's written about.
It's told totally from the man's point of view.
That is.
And the women involved are less, except for being super beautiful, they are less than interesting characters. It is a view of women that I thought we should be past already now. I mean, think of Sex and the City. That success of that show was because these were women told from their standpoint.
Women talking dirty. That is what that was about, exclusively and solely.
No, it was women talking about sex. And they were to be, but that's not dirty.
Okay,
right?
but they talked and talked and talked about sex every week. That's what that show was. Yes, that's interesting. Let me ask you a question. There are a lot of witty chick writers around, sorry, women writers around. Nora Ephron and people like that. I mean, really good writers.
Yeah.
Can you imagine this movie reversed? In other words, a woman who's adorable but a big mess, dumped by a guy who's an actor at the opening of the movie.
Okay.
And what happens to her afterwards? Can you imagine it?
Yes.
Would it be successful?
Well, that I don't know. Someone asked me when I saw the movie, they said, where are movies that have a woman's point of view? And of course, the most obvious, and I hate going back to Preston Sturges because we're living in a different time. However, Barbara Stanwyck and Lady Eve gets dumped and gets her revenge. There is not one movie, you're right, there is not one movie like that.
But why don't they write them, is what I'm saying. I mean, there are a lot of these women around, they sit around and whine that, oh, these women aren't treated with respect. I think, considering the character, going back to Sarah Marshall for a moment, the girl in it she is a schlock television actress. Now, this character is by definition, I mean, if you have such a person, she's going to be shallow and self-indulgent.
Well,
that's what it's about. It's a comedy of awkwardness is one of the things that I like. The setup, the character setup is one that, in this movie, is one that is, I won't say cliche, it's one of the standard things of this age. We have a lovable schlub whose apartment is a mess, who needs a woman to get together.
Well, they've been living together for 5 years. She should have cleaned up.
Okay. Thank you, Mother Teresa. You found him unattractive.
Not unattractive, but he's surely not George Clooney or any. He is a nice enough looking guy.
The situation was awkward at the beginning, rather than tragic or shocking.
Well, it's made awkward because he's not wearing any clothes.
But the male nudity, you brought up a good point. Well, it's not a big thing. That's part of the point.
No, it was a big thing.
You mean the size of his thing?
The size of his member.
You really then must have brought binoculars. The shot was so fast to me. I had no idea.
But they show it more than once.
Oh, barely.
And why he should be embarrassed that he's with a girl he's been with for over 5 years.
It's an embarrassing moment, that's all.
She said, please put some clothes on, and he said no, because he needs to talk to her in a direct way.
The fact that it's never shown in movies is an interesting point, again, that you as a sort of feminist should be interested in. I mean, why do they always show whatever that women have down there? They can photograph that, but they don't do it of men. I thought it was JC. People didn't really like seeing it.
Oh no, I thought it was fine.
It's got maybe a dozen really bad, dirty jokes in it that are put in for the for the kids.
Yeah.
I mean, old jokes, many of them.
Yeah.
But aside from that, I thought it had extremely funny and clever dialogue, I mean, in the scenes.
I think the kids want to see sex on the screen. And I think they are not interested so much in the dialogue.
I think they're...
And there's nothing wrong with sex, right? But it didn't seem...
I won't say Mother Teresa again. People are actually very nice people. They're all good people at heart. Every single person in that movie, in this movie, in Sarah Marshall, even a very amusingly parodied terrible English rock star.
He, I thought, was fabulous.
I thought that surf instructor on the beach was
fabulous.
Okay, no.
Lorenzo, I want to like these movies. I want to understand who the Judd Apatow, who these people are. His Commedia
dell'arte.
Yes, and I don't really understand them. Is my problem, and I don't feel that there is any connection at all to anything real that is going on in the world today. And our hero, what makes him become a man is that he learns to stand up on a surfboard. Number one. And the second thing he does is tell the truth to the girl that he's most interested in. There's going to be a spoiler in this, because I want to say the reason he tells the truth is because when he goes to bed with Miss Sarah Marshall, he realizes he no longer cares about her, is that when she goes down on him, he is not able to have an erection. And that to him proves that they no longer have any relationship.
And so there are certain things that are I just say, it's indicators. That is a thing that people immediately recognize.
It's not working anymore. I'm wondering where Mr. Apatow's stock company will go next.
He'll do the same thing again, as Moliere did. It is a mold. He strikes a chord, and so far the guys have been very funny. For me, this set out to do a job, and it did the job, and I felt very good coming out of the movie.
Okay, well, if it cheered you up, Lorenzo, that's all we want, right?